Say Your Mind is a song about basically exactly what the title says. It's kind of a song that is begging somebody to just be yours, and it's about being so into somebody that you just can't hold it in, and so it's basically a song admitting strong feelings for somebody, and kind of painting a picture of what it could be like if the two of you were together. $100 Million Soul is a song that is really fun, a lot of imagery, and I wrote this song basically just about, somebody who has exactly that, just a heart of gold, trying to find a creative way to say that. And so basically the song goes through the story of you meeting this person and kind of, all about how, they're just somebody who kind of lights up your world. And how really, at the end of the day, what is the most important thing is the fact that they've got such a good heart. And so I wanted this song to sort of paint a picture of somebody who's wonderful in every way, but most of all, it's just the person they are underneath everything that makes you love them so much. Enough for Always is a fun song because I think that hopefully everybody in a serious relationship could relate to this in some way. It's basically about how you can be perfect for somebody while still kind of driving each other nuts. And the song kind of recounts all these specific experiences, like fighting over the car and what movie to watch, and both being stubborn and kind of constantly scrapping and fighting about things, but at the end of the day, this is the person you want to be with, this is the person you want to spend your time with, and all of that stuff really just is what makes your relationship work, because it's the friction in your relationship that really makes things kind of keeps things interesting, basically. Sunshine in My Sky is basically a song that I wanted to be the quintessential summer song. I moved to California when I first started writing this record and spent some time at the beach hanging out, to get some inspiration, watching people on the boardwalk, surfers, and driving up Pacific Coast Highway, just kind of trying to get some inspiration. And, so I wanted to paint the picture of what that looks like, because I think everybody needs a little bit of sunshine in their sky. Hopefully this is a song that people will want to blast in the summer or in the middle of winter. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and we have some pretty miserable winters out there, so sometimes you need that summer pick-me-up. But part of the inspiration from this song too came from growing up in a small town, and in the summers all you do is cook out and play in the sprinkler with your friends because it's freaking 100% humidity, and catch fireflies. And so I wanted to sort of blend together some of those experiences growing up and some of the stuff that I've been doing here in California to sort of just make a song that really epitomizes a great summer. Heart in Chains is a cool song because it's got so much energy and the chorus lifts so much, and it's a fun, kind of almost dancey song, but the song kind of has a paradox to it because it's about being so crazy about somebody that it kind of inhibits your ability to do anything else, and you're so infatuated with this person that they really literally have your heart kind of chained up. You're kind of a prisoner to your love for this person, so you go nuts when they're not around and you don't know what to do with yourself. So there's a little bit of a darkness to this song, but what I love about it is that the chorus kind of brings you up into this rush and is supposed to sort of represent what that rush is like when you are so crazy about somebody that there's nothing you can do about it. You don't want it any other way. You want to feel that ridiculously kind of chained up to your feelings. I wrote Sandcastles actually when I was walking on the beach, and I was watching a bunch of little kids making sandcastles, and imagine that. But what the song is about is sort of, what I was going through is growing up, and you encounter things that are a lot more challenging than maybe some other things that you've been through in your life, and you sort of have this constant feeling of, man, it'd be great to be 6 years old again, and making sandcastles. And I saw these kids making these awesome little sandcastles on the beach, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I was at the time having to make some pretty tough decisions in my life, and thought I would really rather make sandcastles right now than make some of these adult life decisions. So, you know, at the end of the day, though, the song is about what sort of pulled me through that experience, which is music, and you know, and some of my favorite artists, and being a musician myself and writing songs is really what did help me to deal with that. You know, the song says, I don't have a plan at all, but I've got this 6-string religion, and I do believe a song can heal me, and that's really the point of the song, is that, you know, at the end of the day, you do not have to have your stuff together, but everybody finds peace in some kind of music, whatever type or genre of music that is. Burning the Harbor is a cool song for me because it's a little different from anything I've done before. I wrote this song kind of inspired by a number of experiences in the last year or so. I spent some time in Nicaragua in a trash dump community with some friends who run a great nonprofit down there, and it really opens your eyes to see people just living in conditions that are unimaginable for, you know, somebody like me who's been extremely fortunate in my life. You know, I've never seen anything like it before. And, you know, so it kind of sparked this idea for a song that, you know, is really about how we aren't taking care of each other. We're not taking care of the environment. You know, the oil spill happened around the same time last year, and God, it's like, you know, it really made me think we need to cry for help here, because we're kind of destroying our world, and we kind of as a human race have adopted some pretty self-destructive behavior. So it's about as political as Kate Voegele songs get, but it really is kind of a general message, a cry for help that just says, you know, somebody say that there's some hope on the way, you know, shake it down on the sea, like just somebody, something, please rain down some hope, some help on us, because we're screwing things up pretty badly here in a number of different ways. Impatient Girl is a song about, it's pretty straightforward. It's, you know, I'm definitely the quintessential impatient girl, and I've never been a patient person in my life, and I think that, you know, I spent a year writing this record, and I was, you know, getting pretty antsy to get back on the road, to do something, because I'm somebody who constantly has to be moving, and routine kind of freaks me out. So, you know, I started playing with this idea of a song that's generally just about that impatience, and sort of, you know, feeling like you're holding on forever for, whether it's for somebody to give you an answer on something, or, you know, to see if something works out. And so it's sort of this, it was this way of dealing with that sentiment for me, of saying, you know, let's call this what it is. I'm an impatient person, and I feel like I'm waiting on an empty wish right now. So, you know, hopefully I think there's a lot of people who can relate to that, because anymore we're so instant gratification in our society, and we want things to just work themselves out right away. So I figured I had to touch on that. Beg You to Fall is a song that I think is one of my favorites from this record, and the song is about basically how you feel when somebody, whether that's a significant other or somebody you're in a relationship with, or something else, where you feel like you're having to make an argument for yourself. You're having to talk somebody into loving you or staying with you, and that's probably one of the worst feelings on earth. So I wanted to write this song about, you know, somebody who kind of, you know, goes away and promises a bunch of things, and says, you know, that things will always be great and you'll always be together, and then they kind of fall off the face of the earth. They disappear, and they become almost too good for you, and all of a sudden you're starting to feel like you have to beg this person to stay with you. And the idea of the song is, I'm never going to do that for a day in my life. You know, for me personally, I don't ever want to be in a position where I feel like I have to beg somebody to want to be with me, because I think the song is about valuing yourself way more than that. It's about saying, you know, I'm not going to sit here down on my knees telling you why I'm great and talking you into being with me, you know. The person I want to be with is somebody who sees that right away and who can't wait to, you know, come home and hang out with me or whatever it is. So that's a song that I think people, you know, a lot of times, especially women, feel like sometimes they have to sort of prove to whoever it is that they're with that they're good enough, and that's ridiculous. So I wanted to sort of, you know, explore that idea in this song. Enjoy the Ride is a really fun song that is about basically just slowing down and, you know, seizing the day. You know, it's about as cliche as it gets, but I think I wanted to find a way with this song to say that really differently. You know, kind of touching on the fact that every year you kind of say, you know, you make New Year's resolutions and you say, this year I'm gonna, you know, live each day like it's my last one, and I'm gonna take pictures, and I'm gonna, you know, whatever, carpe diem, all that stuff. And then you kind of all of a sudden flash forward another year and you realize, man, I really didn't do any of that stuff. You know, I got really caught up in sort of the, you know, the craziness of life, and instead of making it count, I kind of, you know, just let it fly right by me. So this is a song that I wanted to write about, just really taking a drive down the scenic route and living each day, you know, without sort of constantly looking ahead and just enjoying the moment, really. All I See is a cool song. It's very simple, and but that's what I like about it, is that it's meant to be kind of just a song that says a lot, but doesn't have to necessarily use a ton of words and kind of a ton of descriptions. You know, the song is just about being happy and being content in your life, and, you know, I'm in love with all I see. And those are some of the best moments, when you kind of get this overwhelming feeling of, wow, everything's okay, and, you know, it's the simple things in life that make me smile, and, you know, I kind of wanted to capture that with this song. Gravity Happens is the title track for this record, and it is a song that I wrote really about just sort of some things that I learned in the last year or 2 years that I've been writing this record, and it really says it all in the title. You know, it's basically a song that came from a place for me where I started to realize that I really don't have control over all of the stuff that happens, you know, to me, which is something that I think you learn as you get older, that, you know, hard things happen to people, and hard things happen to people I'm close with, and to people around me, and to people I don't even know, you know, and it's really a tough thing to come to grips with when it really hits you that stuff is just going to happen whether we like it or not. But the whole idea of the song is, you know, having faith, having hope that it's going to get better. And, you know, the line is, if gravity happens, then I'll fasten wings to my shoes. So the song is basically saying, you know, crazy stuff happens. Life is really hard, and what we need to do is surround ourselves with people who kind of help to pick us up, and, you know, pick ourselves up, and not let it kind of get you down, and not let it, you know, crush your spirit and everything when tough things, you know, come about. So it's probably my favorite song on the album, just because it kind of says it all. You know, it's something that sums up a lot of what I wanted to say with this album, which is basically that, you know, no matter what it is that helps you stay hopeful, you know, if it's just your friends or your family, or, you know, an inner strength or a religion or whatever it is, just hold on to something that keeps you up and keeps you hopeful. Because, you know, I think that the whole idea of the song is it does get better if you're willing to let it. My new album's called Gravity Happens because, well, it's named after a song on the record that's called Gravity Happens. But the reason I named the album that was basically because I think it's something that I kept discovering these last 2 years when I was writing this record was just that life is really crazy and complicated and challenging, you know, in a lot of different ways and to a lot of different degrees, no matter who you are. And it throws us curveballs all the time as we grow older. And, you know, growing up isn't easy, but it's sort of a matter of how you deal with those challenges and those obstacles that life throws at you. And so, you know, the line in the song is, if gravity happens, then I'll fasten wings to my shoes. So it's sort of about, okay, like, there's a ton of stuff that's going to try and pull us down and keep us from going for what we want, but it's about just saying, screw it, like, I'm going to, you know, rise above it and figure out a way to go around it.